You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Lobo, what's up, my man?
Not much. What's going on with you, brother?
Oh, it's late.
It is.
It's 1:46 a.m. in the morning.
15 minutes away from being awake for 24 hours solid.
I've been up since 4, so I can kind of closely relate.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, tonight we're gonna veer off format a little bit since we have a format, and we've got a guest with us tonight. We have Stars with us from the Crossroads Podcast. So, you out there, Stars?
Yes, I'm so glad you remembered the name of my podcast.
Of course I would.
Because for a second, it sounded like you weren't gonna.
No.
We have Stars with that something.
Tell the people that don't know about your show, because there might be a few people out there. Tell everybody about what your show is, what you do, where you can be found, all that good stuff.
Well, I have the Crossroads Podcast, which is a podcast dedicated to the hit television series Supernatural, and we're available on iTunes. All you have to do is search for the Crossroads Podcast.
Sweet.
And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and all that fun.
In the intertubes.
On the intertubes.
Intertubes of webs. I do want to say one thing. If your fans actually come and listen to this show, she talks about you guys a lot, and she constantly praises you guys to me, and she says that you guys are the greatest fans in the world, and she does absolutely love you to death. So when she says, yes, we love our fans, she's not kidding. She's not kidding.
It's not the same story I got.
Lobo.
She does talk about you guys very, very much, and she does love you guys very dearly. So
have the best listeners. I think we lucked out. We got all of the cool people and none of the weirdos.
And none of the chafe.
Yep.
That's why I don't fit there.
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
So we couldn't go on to their shows, so we brought her to the weirdos.
That's it.
And see, I would totally have you guys on my podcast, but you don't watch the show.
I'm not going to say anything, and neither are you.
I've had this conversation with you, and it's not that I don't like Supernatural. It's just not my kind of show.
You don't like Supernatural.
No, it's that I don't like Supernatural.
Exactly.
Well, actually, there is something in Supernatural that I remembered, and we're going to talk about that tonight because it fits in with what we're talking about. And tonight, you're here to talk with us about the top 3 things that bother us about paranormal reality shows.
Yes, we are.
I might tick a lot of people off with this show because I am friends with a lot of ghost hunting organizations. I'm friends with a lot of the ones in Michigan. I don't know if any of them actually listen to the show. So if you people do listen to the show, this isn't the slam against you guys personally. It's the slam against the stuff that's put on television that's fed to, I guess, the common person that really doesn't know what they're talking about or what they're doing.
And anybody out there that has a legitimate paranormal investigation group will understand that. It will not be a problem. I am a member of one here in Ohio, and that's actually a subject that we talk about whenever we get together and we're just BSing and, talking, whatever. It's something that we do talk about a lot, like what is on TV and
how it actually is.
And how much it sucks.
Well, before we jump into all this, I'm going to do something here. I got a little surprise for you guys. What we're going to do real quickly is we're going to do a paranormal swagger test. We're going to test everybody's paranormal swagger skills. These aren't really horribly hard questions. And if it makes you feel better, I probably would have failed them myself.
Wait. Do you smell that? I smell failure.
The smell of failure. So
I smell a trick.
No. This is completely not a trick. People at home listening at home, feel free to, if you're sitting in a back room of a pharmacy somewhere or on an exercise machine or feeding your baby or whatever, listening, go ahead and feel free to play along if you want. This is only 7 questions long. We're going to keep it relatively short. And the questions vary in various forms of very common vanilla paranormal topics. It's kind of like what was that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, except for we're not giving away anything and the questions are bad and, I'm not as old.
You sure it's not, Are You Smarter Than a 5th grader?
Yes, possibly.
You mean I don't even get $1 million when I win?
No, you don't get anything. You get butt kiss. So let's start.
The satisfaction of not sucking.
Question number 1. The date of Betty and Barney Hill's UFO abduction took place was A, September 19th, 1961, B, October 19th of 1960, or C, November 19th of 1962.
C. I have
Lobo?
no idea.
I'm going to say A.
Lobo, you are correct. You fail, Stars.
I
Moving
don't
on.
care about aliens.
Moving on.
Care about aliens. My family are aliens. Oh, not that kind of alien.
Different kind of alien, babe.
Your family eats barbecued iguana. Free range.
Free range.
Only free range.
Feral.
Moving on to question number 2. The first known sighting of Spring Heel Jack took place in A, 1836, B, 1840, or C, 1837.
A.
I think it's A.
Both of you are incorrect. That would be 1837. Moving on to question 3. This will be a Stars fail question. Date of the Roswell UFO crash was A, June 1945, B, July 1947, or C, June 1946. Tick, 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 tick.
B.
A.
Okay, Stars, you said A,
Yeah.
and Lobo, you said B. Lobo, you have a greater paranormal swagger.
No, it just means I'm a bigger dork. That's all it means.
Moving on to question number 4. The first
There's
sight-
2 questions about aliens and 1 question about Spring Heel Jack. Come on.
We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm sure the listeners at home are probably doing just as well.
Train leaving from Detroit, moving at 75 miles per hour.
I wouldn't leave from Detroit. It would be robbed. Heading to Connecticut because it's better.
Shay.
Man, that's just wrong.
The first sighting of Mothman in Point Pleasant, West Virginia happened on A, November 1966, B, December 1967, C, November 1967. This may also be the same year that Richard Gere learned what he could do with a gerbil.
He's not that old.
There's a joke in there somewhere. But go ahead. What's your answer?
A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to phone a friend? You can phone Stars if you'd like.
I am no help.
Mm-hmm.
Just warning you.
You want me to read the dates
It was
back
November.
to
It was in November.
you? Do you want me to read the dates back to you?
No, let's say C.
Okay, Stars was correct on that one.
Yes.
The Paranormal Kung Fu was stronger.
I've got 1 right.
I look more like a panda
Woohoo.
than she does, though. So.
This is true.
Question number 5. Construction of the famed and reportedly very haunted Winchester House began
here
in
we
what
go.
year? A, 1884, B, 1922, or C, 1882?
C.
1884.
Lobo, you would be correct. Stars, you would be a fail. And I'm surprised you failed that.
Thought it was-
That was
yeah,
almost
me
a give
too.
it to you, considering it had to do with the Winchesters.
Wait a second. What date did I pick accidentally?
You picked 1882, accidentally.
Oh, okay.
It's 84.
1884.
My bad.
1884, the spirits will bother you no more.
God, look at you. You're just on this.
I'm a
2
dork.
a.m., 24 hours without sleep, and you're just on it.
Mm.
Okay, moving on to
I've
question.
had a very long day. I haven't been awake nearly as long as you guys. It's just been a long, trying day.
I can imagine.
I have my excuse. Moving on to question number 6. What was the year that the Patterson-Gillum Bigfoot encounter at Bluff Creek filmed? A, October 20th, 1968, B, October 18th, 1967, or C, November 20th, 1966?
1967.
Sure.
Stars.
What Lobo said.
Lobo, you would be correct. Stars, you would also be correct by default.
And the gentleman's name was Gimlin. Bob
It is
Gimlin.
Yes, I might have said it wrong. Yes, I might have said it wrong.
Spell check on my brain. Bing, bing.
And the final question. Are you guys both ready for this one?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, what is the wind airspeed and velocity of an unladen swallow?
Oh, 100 and... wait a minute.
Wait. Is it an African swallow?
We have a correct answer. Moving on. Into the garbage can with me. Oh, man. So.
You said swallow and I heard Blackpoll Warbler. I'm tired.
Blackpoll Warbler.
Right.
Cronky.
So do we all have our top 3 lists in front of us?
Not a worry in the world.
We'll start with you, Stars. What would be your number 3 for the top 3 things that annoy us about paranormal reality shows?
I do have like a list of 3 things. They're not in any particular order because these things just grate on me as a whole.
Okay.
So my first one would be the way that the hosts of these shows act like the Steve Irwin of the paranormal universe.
We've already established that would be Lobo, though.
Yes, you did.
She's gorgeous.
But actually,
Gonna dump some holy water on it. Oh, look at that. It's really ticked off now. I think it's spitting flame out of its eyes. Yes, I'm on fire.
In a funny turn of events, I was watching Ghost Adventures yesterday. And that's one thing that totally, it just hit me. And it was after I listened to your guys' show. It just hit me. And I'm like, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He just acts like the Steve Irwin of the paranormal universe. What we're going to do is we're going to go down there. And, so-and-so is said to haunt down there. And we're going to go down there. We're going to provoke them to throw me down the stairs.
You know what?
And the cameraman chucks him down the stairs.
Exactly.
One of these days, if I win the lottery, I'm just going to find out where they're filming, and I'm going to go there and hide. And when he stands at the top of the staircase and dares something to throw him down, I will be there.
Yes.
So is that pretty much it for the number 3, or?
That would be number 3.
Okay, Lobo, what is your number 3?
My number 3, without a doubt, has to be the fact that the way they record it, the lighting, and they're set up better than a pageant. They make that thing look pretty. And if you've ever been in the field, it's anything but pretty. You
know what? It's everything that Blair Witch wasn't, but it is, it's all green screen, night vision cameras, stuff like that. So yeah, I could totally agree with that. I could see where that's coming from. And the average, it's the glamification of it, I guess it is too, because every, I'll go into that later. That's part of my number 1.
Completely delegitimize anybody that's actually trying to find out any information is doing.
Exactly.
And I can't even comment on that without going into my other ones.
Your tirade?
Yes, because there is a rant a-coming.
Oh, good.
There's a rant a-coming.
You know. Indeed.
Yeah. Well,
She'll be ranting around the mountain when she comes.
I have mine written down here, so I'm going to do my number 3.
Go for it.
My number 3 would be, how many shows do we need?
This is Ghost Hunter International. This is Ghost Hunter down your street.
No. Here we go. We're going to start with here's the quick list that I was able to put together in a relatively short amount of time. And we're going to start with Paranormal State, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunters International, Ghost Hunters Academy, Ghost Adventurers, Monster Quest, UFO Hunters, Ghost Lab, Ghost Trackers, Factor Fake, Most Wanted, Ghost Whisperers, Psychic Kids, Dead Famous, Paranormal Cops, Scariest Places on Earth, Paranormal Challenge, Destination Truth, Paranormal Pets, Really Animal Planet, Really?
Wait. I need you to back up a step and a half. Paranormal Pets.
Paranormal Pets on yes.
That is one I'm not familiar with.
You know what? Glad. Don't even waste your time.
It's a show about
Animal Planet right now, so
it's a show about people that are pet owners and their pets have had paranormal experiences to some sort or another. At this point, I'm waiting for Bobby Flay and Guy Fieri to make a paranormal cooking show on the Food Network.
No,
everyone remembers the good old days of In Search Of.
Yes. Yeah, Leonard Nimoy.
Yes. When I was a kid, I loved In Search Of. And In Search Of was cool because it was purely an informational, really spooky, kind of weird show. That was one of my earliest memories, was getting up to watch In Search Of. I remember the Crystal Castle episode, which my buddy Dave was talking about recently, which sparked this into my head. Paranormal shows were different back then, and they seemed like they were more serious, even though people laughed at them. But the state of paranormal investigating and stuff was taken much more seriously and from a much different approach. Whereas now, like you said, Stars, it's all about, I need to rip my shirt off and go in there and provoke this thing to attack me.
Dude, run!
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So that is my number 3. This isn't even all of them. I mean, the list was huge. That's not even covering the shows that Canada has. I'm sure Europe has them. I'm sure
Canada?
Yeah, Canada does in fact have paranormal shows.
Wait,
they mostly involve beer.
Paranormal?
No, Canada's pretty lame, pretty boring. Actually, I've been up.
No,
we just lost our Canadian listeners.
I love
thought
Canada.
We unanimously decided that Canada doesn't actually exist.
No. I love Canada. So you're not going to get that argument.
You can't talk about America's hat like that.
No. Carl! But anyway,
it's a figment of our imagination.
Canada's not there. You just get the hockey.
Oh, Canada.
I love their ham.
Bacon. Yeah, Canadian bacon.
Hey everybody, my name is TJ and I host the 13 Skulls podcast. If you've ever had an unexplainable experience, then you know it's hard to understand. Visit www.the13skulls.com and come with me on a journey to a world that lies just beyond our comprehension. The world of the paranormal.
You're backwards gone!
Stars, what would be your number 2?
Oh, number 2. That would have to be where, the fact that they go to a place that is supposedly haunted. They're there for a handful of hours.
Ugh.
And would you look at all the evidence?
Look at the activity.
They have nothing but all of these Class A EVPs. They're so awesome. And all this video and all these pictures.
You mean the EVPs that say eat at Taco Bell?
Flippin' kidding me.
Yeah,
right?
Frank's. I got your.
Yeah,
Frank
I can
right
relate
here.
because I've done ghost hunting. And you've done ghost hunting. I know you have done ghost hunting, and it's just not the way that it is on TV.
Nope.
And I'm not saying that nothing is out there because I've had a few experiences myself. But for every 40 ghost hunts you go on, you might get half of a ghost hunt worth of experience or something that might actually happen. The rest of the time, you're just kind of wandering around going, oh, wow, look, an old piano, and the floor squeaked, and it's just not that way. I don't know, maybe when I die, that's what I'm going to do. If I ever die and I become a ghost, I'm going to go out
ever die.
When I die, if I ever become a ghost, I'm going to go out and find the people that are doing this, and I'm going to become like the... Do you remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoon where the guy finds the frog that sings when nobody's around?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
That's what I'm going to do. So, like, when the cameras aren't rolling, the guy that's, like, the reputed ghost hunter, I'm going to do all kinds of crazy stuff and activity. Then when the cameras go on, it's going to be like crickets.
All right, hold on. Ready? Everybody stop. What was the name of that frog?
I was trying to remember this yesterday.
I know it. It's Michigan J. Frog.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, my gosh.
See? Dork. Big dork. Right here. That's it, man. I got a stamp.
Okay, my mom came home from the store the other day with a ceramic frog that we decided it was going to live on the patio furniture outside. And
the ceramic frog will live on the furniture outside.
Yes. Don't question. Just go with it.
It's a love-hate thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
So then me and the kids were just trying to decide what this frog's name was, and my dad and I were talking about Michigan J. Frog, but we could not remember his name to save our lives. Because I think my dad said it was the WB Frog, and I'm like, yeah, do you know his name? And my dad's like, he had a name?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Dad, you failed.
Every character in the Looney Tunes had a name.
Yep. And I knew it, and it was driving me crazy, but I couldn't remember it, so thank you, Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate
I'm a dork.
that you're a dork.
All right, Lobo, what's your number 2? My number 2 is Michigan J. Frog.
My number 2 would have to be the fact that, and it's going to sound bad, and at this point everybody knows who I am, and I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but some of the cats that I roll with, they're really not like they don't have a face for TV. I want to know where they're finding these people.
You're talking about the pretty boys. Yeah.
Exactly.
The good-looking girl. Yeah.
I mean, I'm no looker, but I mean, I don't want to say that.
I'm really hot, so I don't know.
Oh man, here we go.
I'm sorry, I couldn't not. You understand, I hope.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it bugs me to no end that It's like any other show that's on TV. It's Hollywood. You have to be pretty for Hollywood.
Exactly.
You know, I know guys that'll crawl around in the dirt looking for stuff. I don't care what they're doing. They're going to crawl underneath buildings. They're going to go anywhere they need to go. Mm-hmm. And these guys look like they sit in a trailer with caviar. I mean, come on.
Right.
All right, my number 2 is look at all the gadgets. EMF readers, digital thermometers, RF and microwave meters, Frank's box, shack hacks. Does anyone just do solid research anymore?
No.
I've noticed, because I was ghost hunting long before Ghost Hunters popped up on the Sci-Fi Channel. Mm-hmm. And I read the old school books that taught you, I read the old school books that taught you this is how you do an investigating. This is how you find out what the house is about. This is how you use a pen and paper to document things. And this is what a flashlight does. And it just seems like that since these paranormal shows have come along, it's turned into... This is how you use
a flashlight. Click on.
Click off. Spare batteries as needed. Off. And it just seems like now that all these paranormal shows are on TV, that it comes across as you don't need to know anything. You just go online, go to the ghosthuntingequipmentstore.com, buy your EMF detector, buy this, buy that, and that's it. And so boom, people get the stuff.
In.
Yeah, and boom, exactly. And the thing is, I've been on investigations. I don't do a whole lot of ghost investigations anymore because I don't have the time, A, and B, I don't really... It's hard for me.
Have the patience for it anymore?
I don't have the patience for it. I don't have... And this is going to make me sound really conceited and really snobbish and stuck up, and I'm not trying to be. But I've worked with a lot of groups before that are like, well, we went out and bought all this stuff here, and it's like, all right, well, do you know how to take a base reading off of an EMF reader? Or
what?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? Well, we turned it on and we wave it around. No, you don't wave it around. You set it central. And
you totally hit the nail on the head. That is one thing that takes me off so bad. The Geiger counters that they use.
Mm-hmm. Geiger counters, because ghosts are radioactive.
Yes, exactly. If you're holding one of those Geiger counters and you breathe too hard, that thing moves.
Especially
and they're sitting there. Exactly. They're sitting there waving it around.
Yeah, it's like a lightsaber to them.
And they're going, look at all the readings I'm getting.
Because you're aiming it at a light. Or the cameraman.
You're moving and you're jarring the needle, you idiot.
It comes across as, and it's not even the people that are real legitimate ghost hunters or trying to be ghost hunters. They they see it on TV and they're like, well, this is the way they do it, so we need to get this.
I saw it on TV, so it must be true.
I don't want to be mean to these people, but I do.
Why not?
Well, the whole paranormal thing that's happening, it's a good bad thing. It's a good thing because it's allowed people to talk about it. Like I've had experiences in my life, and up until just fairly recently, I haven't really come out of the closet talking about them because people would thought I'm nuts, and a lot of people still will. But I can talk about things a little bit easier around people now because of these paranormal shows and things like that. Right. The downside is these people are right. They'll go, "Oh, you're one of those people," So
yeah, because for every one person that we all have found in this area of study, for every one cool person, there's like 50 to 100 stupid psychos.
Yeah, exactly.
It's muddied everything up.
But yes,
I mean it's a good bad thing. The bad thing is it's bringing a lot of the wrong people out, and it's
you're always going to bring out the crazies no matter what. But it's just.
Well, you know what? No matter how we look at it, at this point, it's becoming a parody of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go back to Paranormal Pets. Really, Paranormal Pets. So
I want to meet the evil genius that thought that one up and got.
I'm telling you,
got it made and got the money for it.
I'm waiting for the Cooking Network to come out with Paranormal Cake Challenge or something.
That'd be great.
It's gonna happen. No, what we need to see is that guy from Hell's Kitchen, the guy that flips out all the time. He needs to go. Yeah, we need to put Gordon Ramsay on a ghost hunt.
Yeah, he is kind of paranormal.
We put him on a ghost hunt. He could go into the haunted house and just start freaking out and screaming at it and calling it a loser and saying how bad of a ghost it is and
bollocks.
Bollocks. No. We already have that show.
We do.
Called Ghost Adventures.
Oh
God.
Indeed.
Let's move on to...
I was going to say, which brings me to my number one.
Your number one. Go for it.
Provoking. Provoking drives me nuts in ways I can't even explain to people without going berserk. Why are you standing there screaming into
She's like, why?
Why? Why are you doing that?
So you're not supposed to provoke.
I'm not saying you're not supposed to provoke. I'm saying, would you walk into somebody that you just met? Would you walk into their house and start yelling at them?
Or you forget who you're talking to?
Yes.
Okay.
She would.
Lobo, you're exempt from the question.
I have done that before.
But
oh my God.
That is my entire basis for this whole thing. The way that I feel about it is, would you walk into somebody you just met or somebody you haven't met, would you walk into their house and start screaming at them to get a response out of them?
Let's take it from the flip side. Let's say, once again, I'm dead. I'm there chilling. I've been dead. I don't know why I'm here. And all of a sudden these guys walk in with these machines and they just start taunting me and yelling at me. I'm going to be like, who the hell are you? What an ass, Exactly. It's going to be
exactly
for real.
And I don't know if this is the way it works, but I would leave. I would be like, screw you guys. I'm out of here. I want to respond. It makes me want to slap somebody.
Say it. Say it.
I can't say those words. They're bad.
There's no words on it.
Yeah, I can absolutely relate to that.
It makes me want to slap them until my hand bleeds, and then when I get tired, hand them off to somebody else.
This is another thing bothers me, and it kind of leads into what you were saying. There was one of the ghost hunting shows that I was watching with my daughter. My daughter watches them from time to time. Fortunately, because I have a house full of paranormal books and my kids can read anything that I have here, they're a little bit up on the game, so they're a bit smarter on it. But they were watching one episode where they were inside of a haunted lighthouse, and the two girls were sitting there, and they're doing the stereotypical, if there's anybody here, will you let us know, blah, 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 questioning. It's like, that's the other thing. Like, ghost hunters generally have a script that they have to read off of. And if they deviate from the script, it's like they're afraid that they're not going to get results. But anyhow, so the girls are sitting...
Which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
they're sitting there and they're like, if there's anybody here, would you let us know, blah, blah, blah. And this happens in all of the paranormal shows, it seems. You've got the brave guys in the show, and then you've got the wimpy, usually women in the show, which is also frustrating. So they'll be sitting there. And then something will happen. Something will move. Something will make a noise. And all of a sudden, the girls get freaked out. And they start getting scared. And they start getting nervous. And
as long as they don't scream, I don't care. If
but
you
I'm
start
looking at
screaming, I will throw you off a ledge.
It's like, well, this is what you're here for. You came here to meet this person, thing, whatever it is. You came here to get some kind of results. You have to know.
Why are you getting all weird?
Yes, you shouldn't have taken the job and filled out the application if you're not ready to deal with the final product.
If you're going to sit there and be all freaked out and scared and pee your pants.
Exactly. Because if it were me, and I know Lobo would be twice as bad. If something were to go off, I'd be like, okay, is there something here? Can you let us know? And if something were to be moving, we'd be like, all right, cool. We're getting some kind of an establishment of communication. Lobo, of course, would probably try to run it down like Greg Kinnear, but tackle it. But I understand there's an element of fear there. I'm completely cool with the element of fear. But when you ask for something and you get something in response for it, it's not like out of nowhere a machete comes flying across the room without being...
That's not something to be startled over. That's something to go, oh, cool. Like, you don't even have to vocalize it.
Getting hit by a machete or...
No, getting a response from a question. Like, if you're sitting there and,
because that's why you're there.
If you're here, can you knock on the wall? Can you make a noise? And if you get that in response, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's not something to get all nervous and freaked out about.
It's not the dude run instance that, it's not, it annoys me so bad, because that's another thing. If I'm dead and I'm in a room and somebody says, can you give us a response that you're here? And I go, okay, I will, whatever you do when you're dead, if you're a ghost, and you push a chair or whatever you do. And then the people that are sitting there get all freaked out and run away or do whatever they do. It's going to be like, what? I don't, what?
See, now, if I was a ghost, I would find the person that is the most prone to do something like that and just pick on them all night. Just that person that's just like jumpy and like freaked out for no reason and just like play with their hair and brush their face. I would be the meanest ghost ever.
But in a gentle way.
The only person I want to shove down the steps is that guy from Ghost Adventures.
He does get rather out there. He does get a little...
He's so, like, he seriously, like, one
Is
of
he
the
the one
most
that we were talking about? Like I made the
disrespectful-
joke about taking off his shirt. Was that the one?
Yeah,
we were
that's
joking about all the
him.
time? Yeah. God, it's like
I
you got an
don't know if I've
EVP.
seen
Quick, let
that
me take my shirt off.
No, I don't know if I've seen that episode, but I know that there is an episode that he finds a reason to take his shirt off. I know that it's out there. Somebody told me about it.
Yeah, it was on the Soup. Even you know it's bad when the Soup takes your show, your paranormal show, and starts digging into it.
Yeah.
When Joel McHale starts making fun of your paranormal show, you probably shouldn't be doing paranormal shows.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. All right, Lobo, what's your number 2?
Psychics.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just, you know what?
Wait a minute. This is number 1. I'm sorry. It's your number 1.
I was going to say, it's
We're back to that again? Go ahead. Psychics, yeah.
Just psychics. Just.
You don't like them, period?
It's not that I don't like them, period. It's the fact that I
have issues with them?
Where's
I'm going to stop trying to finish your sentence. I'm sorry.
It's not that I take issue with people that may or may not have a psychic ability.
Okay.
It's the fact that they find some hackneyed moron that can talk to the dead and feels vibrations in the house on every show.
Cough, cough, chip coffee, cough, cough.
You know, exactly. I can't, I mean, I could go on a tirade at this point about.
It's probably good that we're never going to try to interview him, too.
Dude, I would.
You know what? On a related note, there was a local ghost hunting organization around here that I had met up with. I don't think they're around anymore because ghost hunting organizations come and go like the wind. But
like
there was
ghosts?
there was
Like
a local
ghosts.
one around here that said that they had a psychic ghost hunting dog, which takes me back to Animal Planet. But that they
cracks
said
me
that
up.
they had a ghost hunting dog, and there was another woman in the group. That's you're right. There's the amount of I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive too. Don't hurt my feelings.
I'm not. I have no
I'm very sensitive. It's very easy to hurt my tender baby feelings.
tender baby feelings.
Tender baby feelings.
The thing that bothers me the most, and I drive by a place almost on a daily basis. Now, like again, I said, I have nothing against people that may or may not actually have a psychic ability of some form or another. I have no problem with that. However, I have a problem with people that charge exorbitant amount of monies for a gift that was given to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can
I
cue
can
in
agree
with
with that.
Yeah.
You know, I know people that I've spoken to personally that have been able to pick up on me information that no one else is supposed to know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what their response is for payment? Oh, we'll get a cup of coffee sometime, maybe.
Right.
That's their
Yeah.
response. You know, like
And
I have
that's
aunts that
something-
are. So
And you're right. That's something that I feel like if as soon as you start charging money, you lose credibility.
yeah, well, I can understand
With me.
trying to make a living. Fine, that's fine. If that's what your niche in life is to try and make a living doing it. First of all, you're going to go poor. Because if you're a real psychic or a real person with some form of psychic ability, you're not going to charge exorbitant amounts of money for what you do.
Right.
It's a gift. Some people see it as a curse. I'm not even going to touch that one because you know some of my past.
Yep.
It's just it's annoying as hell.
And you know what? And that's what sucks. Like some people that I know, it's so funny. They will never actually call themselves psychic,
Nope.
but they will sit there and they'll just say, you know, for some reason I just know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, in the course of a conversation, you'll be sitting there talking about whatever, and they'll just give you that look
Mhm.
and they will tell you something. And it's like the truest thing that you've ever heard in your life.
Mhm.
And it just, for some reason, that means so much more than, you know,
Right.
somebody calling themselves a psychic and going, oh, I'm going to tell you all about you for $50. And
Exactly.
My question is how does
It
one
just
go
feels
about
so funny.
becoming a psychic for a paranormal television show?
Easy.
What-
You can BS and you can cold read people. That's all you need to know how to do.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's
Actually, I would be frighteningly good at that.
it. Right?
You're in the
And
wrong
if you have
business.
if you have a stage presence, there you go. If you look good on camera,
Just
if you can
not
run away
hot
crying,
enough. Dang it.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on to my number 1.
do it.
And my
Please.
number 1 is, as I have written down, ma'am, I own 3 seasons of Ghost Hunters on Blu-ray, and I've photographed 7 orms, 1 smoky-looking thing, and I've got EVP that sounds something like a person coughing. Trust me, I'm an expert in this.
Oh, see, and you know how we were talking earlier this week, how we're just going to do a list of 3, but of course we're going to have stuff.
Is this the
that
rant?
We wanted to, no, it's not yet, but I'm going to mention something because you brought it up.
Okay.
It's your fault.
Okay.
So this is not the rant.
Well, this is something actually that ties in real quick. We were talking way back about the show Supernatural, and there's something on the show that I remember and I used to laugh. It was when the two guys on the show, the Winchester boys, were investigating something, and then the ghost hunters show up on the episode.
Ghost facers.
Yeah, whatever they were.
I
yeah.
love that. That's one thing I do love about Supernatural. They're really good at making fun of themselves.
When I watched that episode, I was rolling. I was on the floor in tears because
it's one of the
we all know
I've
people like that. We all know. We know those people. We know those guys that. Like that. Oh, hey, we're gonna go to the bar tomorrow night. We're gonna wear our ghost hunting T-shirts, and they really don't know anything. These are the guys that have watched the seasons of Ghost Hunters. But the thing is these are also, in reference to that, these are also the people that sometimes the networks come along and go, hey, we're gonna make you guys into network paranormal television stars, and it's not because they know anything. It's because they've got that kind of goofy silliness to them. That's why they put them on the air. Now,
stage presence.
Exactly, stage presence. Like Ghost Hunters in the beginning, I think Ghost Hunters were legit in the beginning, and I think they did have a good fair amount of knowledge behind them, but they've gone for so long, they've got banknotes, they got to make payments on houses and stuff like that now. But I think they were probably legit in the beginning because they do have a little bit of a history behind them, and they did make attempts to come along and try to find information about the houses and things that they are investigating. And then as time went on, the technology and stuff crept in and things like that. But you watch a lot of the paranormal shows, and it reminds me so much of the Ghost Hunters that were on Supernatural.
Let me ask you guys a question. What is going to sell more ad space on a television show? If they go into a place that is quote unquote haunted and they get all kinds of evidence saying that it's haunted, or if they go in and say, you know what, this time out we really didn't get anything, but we're going to come back.
Oh, they're not.
Boring as heck.
That's the way the first two seasons of Ghost Hunters were. They never got anything. Exactly. Then all of a sudden, they kind of, to make up for it, if you look back, they tried to turn it into like a different kind of reality show, like a drama show, where it would show them arguing behind the scenes and stuff like that. And that was when they weren't getting
that.
Ghosts.
That drove me absolutely crazy because I did watch Ghost Hunters for the first season.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just lost track of it, and then I went to watch it again later.
And it was a totally different kind of show.
And I'm watching them sit and bitch at each other. Sorry for that, but I'm sitting there watching them just whine and complain and start crap with each other, and I'm like,
because they weren't catching anything, and that was the only thing they could do. And then like the season later, it all went back to the old original format, and then they started catching stuff on a regular basis, and they started things, you could see a change in the show. Like when Ghost Hunters first came on, I thought, wow, this is really cool. This is great, And I didn't mind that they weren't catching anything because that's just how it was. That's just how it was back then.
And
but now,
I don't know. I don't turn that show on to watch Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, and that was what it was for a little while. And now it just seems like they're going out and finding, it's like, well, we really don't care how much you know about ghost hunting. It's like Lobo said, we need to find really pretty people or really stupid people, and then we're going to put them on television. Or both. Funny, stupid people that we can put on TV.
Ken and Barbie.
Well, how much do you know about ghost hunting? Well, I got this EMF meter. Okay, fine. No.
I have an EMF reader and a digital recorder. I'm good to go.
Does anybody remember the band EMF? They were actually really good.
Oh, my God. That was unbelievable, wasn't it? Schubert Dip. Why do I know the name of that album? I don't know the name of that album. I'm wrong. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yes, they sounded like Jesus Jones, but we're just move past that. So
anyway.
So what you were going to go into a rant? Did you want to wait to save that until?
I was going to mention it, and we can rant about it in a bit.
Okay.
Orbs.
Oh God! Don't even get me started.
Oh, I'm going there.
I love dust just as much as the next guy.
Friends don't let friends believe in orbs.
The group that I am a part of in Ohio, our group leader, back in April, we went to an abandoned funeral home.
Cool.
Good times. And, we were hanging out afterwards. And as we were leaving, he's like, go through your pictures, pick out anything that looks interesting, and, email it to me. And his final words were, if you send me pictures of orbs, I will come find you. So for like a week, that's all we did was post pictures of orbs on his Facebook page. I mean, come on, you have to. But yeah, it's orbs. My aunt is so I love her to death. I love her so much, but she would pull the whole like, okay, I don't ever dust. I don't vacuum. It's Christmas, so I have a ton of lights up. I'm going to take pictures, and then, oh my gosh, look at all my orbs. She's done that to me several times, and I try to be like I don't want to pee on her parade. It's just me. I don't want to be like that person that's like, that's not what it is. Like, I don't want to be a jerk.
It's freeing.
I don't want Lobo, stop trying to make me be a jerk.
Yeah. Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
But
and you said it at the same time.
I hate you guys. I hate you so much. But yeah, I don't want to be a jerk about it. But I have said to her, like, oh, that's just, that's dust. Oh, you think so? Yeah, it's dust. Like, I try not to be a jerk about it, but sometimes she just has, like, I don't want to break her little heart. So I try not. I'm just like, it's not like she's going around. There actually have been a couple of occasions, and actually at the funeral home, which that place was dusty, but it was also pitch black, and I don't take pictures with flash.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a picture or two that I took that I would venture to say that it was an orb, but I would never try to use it as any kind of evidence. That's for me.
Yeah, that's, you know what?
To sit and look at and go, that's a little odd.
This brings me to another topic.
Look at this.
This brings me to another topic, even though I've already done my number one. I'm going to jump into this too. Is this constant quest for evidence? We must find evidence.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is why I make a terrible paranormal investigator, and I only go very rarely anymore, is because I don't give a crap about finding some evidence that's going to prove anything to you.
Exactly. And nothing that we find is going to prove anything anyways, no matter...
Right.
It's like the people that post the UFO videos or post anything on YouTube for that matter. It's worthless. Nobody's going to believe anything that you post. I do what I do for my personal knowledge and for things that I can learn. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm not looking to get a television deal. I'm not looking to sell stuff to anybody. I'm doing what I do for even for the reason I do this podcast. Hopefully we're going to educate people, or we're giving people a good time. We're trying to give people knowledge in some way, shape, or form, and educate people and have a good time with it. But ultimately, I'm not here to convince anybody of one thing or another. I'm not an expert. The stuff we talk about on the podcast, I'm not an expert about. And I'm not going to try to run up to everybody and go, look, I got a ghost on video, or I got this picture on video, or I got these EVPs. I've caught lots of EVPs. I don't know where they're at. I heard them. I thought they were cool. But I don't go running around playing them to every person that I don't think I've ever played my EVPs to anybody. I don't even know where they are right now. But, and on top of it, I really don't care because I don't want to deal with the backlash from it. And it's good enough for me to find what I find. And it leads me to one more thing. And this is, I've noticed as well from the paranormal TV shows and stuff like that, from people watching these shows, they get this attitude of like, I am the Ghostbuster. And I've literally talked to people that have had problems with homes and things. And they're like, well, I've got a ghost hunting organization coming and they're going to help me. And I go, well, what are they going to do to help you? Well, they're going to come here and see if I've got a ghost in my house. And it's like, okay. And then what?
Then what are they going to do?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. You have a ghost. We've confirmed you have a ghost.
Congratulations. Okay. It's a ghost.
And we're out of here. Goodbye. And it's like, well, now what are you going to do? What are you going to do to support the family that might genuinely have a real problem? Because, you know what? Not to sound like Lobo, but a sadistic side of me wants to see that. I would like to see a ghost hunting group go into a house where there's a real serious problem and just get their asses handed to them, and maybe teach them a lesson. Because I've heard of things like that happening. Maybe that's why a lot of ghost hunting groups don't stick around. But these people go into these houses and they're like, oh yeah, we're here for you, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to take care of this problem that I'm having?
Yeah. Besides handing them a recording, a picture, a video that might give them some kind of validation about what they've been experiencing, beyond that, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. What
because there are people, and I know
you know how to smudge a house? Do you okay? Well, what's your technique? Do you know what I asked? You don't know anything, do you? Nope. Okay. Well, bye.
Right. And I have met a couple of people because once you kind of dip your toes into the paranormal pool, you start meeting all of these people that do all kinds of random stuff.
Isn't it weird how they attract to you too? Like,
yes.
I don't even go looking. Well, it's not as bad. Well, you know what? It sometimes can be. But once, again, I'll go back to using the paranormal closet analogy. Once I started telling a few people about it, I used to work at a hobby shop, and I would have people that would come in and they'd be like, hey, I need to tell you about this ghost story that just happened. I'd be like, excuse me? Who are you, sir?
Totally out of the blue. Yeah.
Which I didn't mind. Sure, I'll listen to what people have to say, and I won't laugh at it. Because these are the same people. What's funny, these are a lot of people a lot of time that will laugh at you, and they'll be like, ha, ha, ha. And then as soon as you're aside, they're like, hey, can I talk to you about something? This is really weird.
And that's the thing. Like, that has happened to me.
Yeah.
And after a few people had come up and said stuff to me, I started asking people, like, what made you come up and tell me this? And I always get the same response from people, and it's that, oh, well,
you wouldn't laugh at me.
You just look like you wouldn't laugh at me, and you would understand.
Yeah, I get that, which like, I'm fine with.
Do I have a tattoo on my forehead that says "Tell me your ghost"?
Paranormal guidance counselor. Which I'm completely fine with all that. If somebody really, because I tell people I'm a font of useless knowledge for this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And, and if somebody wants to come up and talk to me about that stuff, sure, I'm here for them. Go right ahead. I'm not going to laugh at you because I've had people tell me some pretty flipped out stuff. Whether they're telling me the truth or not, I don't know. But if they're going to come and tell me, it's not going to be my place to sit and judge them for telling me what they've told me. It bothers me really, really bad when these people that really don't know anything or hi, I'm an expert, and they go into these people's houses and they make these people think that they're going to help them, and all they're really there to do is say, yes, you have a ghost. Well, I know that, like. And
there are people out there that do. I guess the way to put it would be
snake oil salesman.
Clean the house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak. I do know people out there that's what they do. Like the paranormal group comes in and tells you, yep, you have ghosts. And then usually they'll be like, okay, if you want help with this, call these people. Yeah, you know what? And you don't hear about them people either. And legit groups will have a network of people. Like if you have, because this has happened to me on one occasion where went to go on an investigation at a private home, walked into the house, walked right back out of the house, and said, you need to call an exorcist because there is something in your house and it ain't right. We ain't going to deal with it. And it's not this something is above our pay scale. It is. It's totally above my pay grade because that is not something that I am going to deal with. And that is another thing that drives me crazy about these paranormal shows where they go into places that they're told they've been told that there's, some kind of demonic force inside whatever place, and these guys go in there and just provoke it. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like and seriously, you want to mess with that? As Lobo's not saying nothing.
Well, no. I mean, I can open up my mouth right now, but
I totally want you to do it.
I've gone into houses and taken stuff out for people, so
see,
yeah,
I have no problem with it either. Yeah. If you know what you're doing, then
but that's the thing. If you know what you're doing,
see, something also tells me you have more brains about it too.
Well, there's a certain way to deal with things.
Lobo would be somebody that I would trust to do that, but there are a lot of people out there that claim that they know what they're doing.
If you know what you're doing and you go in and take care of it, then there's ways of using it.
I'm actually enjoying our little conversation right now.
Indeed.
I thought we lost Lobo there for a minute.
No, I'm here.
Quiet.
No, I'm here, just absorbing information.
That's what he does. He sits and pontificates and things like that. Mm-hmm. I can tell when the gears are rolling in Lobo's head.
See, I'm going to go briefly back to orbs for just a second.
Please do.
I have seen orbs without a camera. Mm-hmm. You can't photograph them. You can't photograph them. Their energy of some form or another, you cannot photograph them. No matter what you do, I don't know if the flash reflects, whatever, it blends into the background. They're too far off.
I've thought about that before because, like I said, I do not, especially when it's a paranormal investigation scenario, hate using flash because that creates more problems than it solves.
Yep.
Even in a pitch black room. I just don't like using it.
Nope. See, I've never actually physically seen a ghost. I've gotten lots of EMFs and things like that. I'm not EMF, but EVP. I've felt things, but again, I am the eternal skeptic to a point where it's like, okay, what just happened to me? Can I reasonably put that out of my head by one of these things or another? I've done EVP with tape, and I've done EVP digitally way back when digital recorders were first coming out. And I've had a few other experiences. Jason Offit covered one of my experiences on his blog. That was another story that I didn't tell anybody until just recently. I've had that one like really. Well, I first told that story on the 13 Skulls. TJ read it off and kept my name quiet. And then I told a couple of friends about it. I still haven't told members of my family about it because I'm not sure how they would react to it. But again, I was too young to remember when that happened. I have a vague memory of it, but I don't remember specifically what happened with it. I've had UFO-like encounters without seeing UFOs, things that were bordering on UFO-like experiences, but I've never actually physically seen a UFO. I've seen lights.
Remember, all UFO is an unidentified flying object. Doesn't mean it's an alien.
Which is funny. Like I've said this so many times, UFO stuff just doesn't interest me at all. But I have seen a UFO as an unidentified flying object, something that I was just outside having a cigarette one night, watching the stars, and I just noticed these two quote-unquote star-like objects were moving in a very random fashion that couldn't be explained. So
this stuff all ties in together. I used to listen to Jerry Mulvaney and Jeffrey Ritzman's show all the time, and they brought up some very valid points on there about how sometimes UFO experiences can be very much like poltergeist experiences, and they cross paths, they cross boundaries a lot. People will see something UFO-oriented, and then they will begin to have poltergeist types of experiences, and they will begin to have shadow people kind of experiences, and the borders blur and cross one another all the time. But you don't hear people talking about that. You've got the diehard UFO people that are like, no, ghosts are a bunch of rubbish, and you've got the ghost people like, no, UFOs are a bunch of rubbish. And
it's because it's evolved into a religion.
Yeah, possibly, and
something like that.
So the thing is, a lot of times, that's why I don't have a problem talking about any of it, because I don't understand any of it. I don't claim to understand any of it, but I do find it fascinating and all that stuff that goes along with it.
Well, Lobo, you do have a point. It's become one of these things where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's all these like rules applied to these scenarios,
which you can't do.
You can't do because
you're trying to force human rules on something that may or may not be human.
Exactly what it is right there. And like that's what makes me laugh about the whole ufological world. Like I have my own theories on it, but my theories are not carved in stone, and I am not carved in concrete on them. But because I'm a human being and I have to grasp towards things, I have to grasp onto certain handholds, more or less, for lack of a better word, to try to fit those into a belief system for me to be able to wrap my head around it. But I'm not so securely invested in those beliefs that if somebody comes along and presents me ideas for something else, I can go, okay, I can relate to that. I can see where that's coming from. Yeah.
And not to quote Kevin Smith, but I'm going to quote one of my favorite movies, Dogma. It's better to have an idea than a belief. An idea is easier to change.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody can say that they know enough to believe something.
Oh. Here, let's look at this. Let's look at this analytically. Okay. When did Roswell happen? "Quote unquote" happen?
Oh, you know what? I just threw the Swagger test away.
The 40s. Right?
Yes.
The 40s. Okay. It is 2011. How much more do we know about it?
Well, it depends. We know it could be Russian children. It could have been a weather balloon.
But how much do we actually know? All right, Lon, let's go one step further for an even longer grasp. How long has paranormal been going on?
Oh, forever. This isn't something that just happened. How much more do we know
about it?
Yeah, how much more concrete knowledge do we have of that subject as long as people have been researching it?
Exactly. No, we're never going to have. No, I don't think we're entirely ever going to have concrete knowledge of it. Because again, we're trying to impart something onto something that is not human. The difference between me and I think and most people is I know that I'm doing that because it's the only way that I can. But I understand also that this isn't necessarily the way that it is. But I have to have a frame of reference to be comfortable to try to understand it. So if something comes along and says it's this, okay, that's fine. I can roll with that.
Just to be able to wrap our tiny, tiny human brains around something, we have to put some kind of limit on it that we can understand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we make our first mistake.
Well, the mistake comes in locking into that belief. That's where the mistake comes. But if you can be minded and say, I know I'm doing this, but if I have to move away from this, that I can do that. And that's one of the things like the Jeremy and Jeff talk about was that, there's something else going on there, and it's not necessarily locked into, what people might say it is. That's like with the world, like the UFO politics. That's where you see a lot of differentiation. You see, like in the ghost hunting world, you see people fighting over turf wars and stuff. Everybody in the ghost hunting world has a core belief relatively around what they're doing. They all have their gadgets. They all believe they work a certain way. They all think they know what a ghost is relatively. Whereas in the ufological world, aliens are this, UFOs are that, blah, 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 and everybody fights about it. So it's really strange. Whereas in the ghost hunting world, you have turf wars. This is my, we're doing investigations here. You don't belong in this part of town, or different things.
Right, or something goofy like that.
And it's really rare to find someone that comes along and says, you know what, all you people are stupid. Look at this as a whole. Look at this as try to look at this as a whole. But even that in itself is kind of a dumb thing to do, because you're trying to, well, if you try to look at it as a whole, well, that means you're picking from here and you're picking from there, and you still might be wrong in those regards.
Right.
But hey, what are you going to do?
In conclusion, kids, everyone is stupid. Everyone's wrong.
But I'm an expert.
Accept it.
So
I'm an expert at being a jerk.
That's because it's 2:47 in the morning. Stars, thank you very much for coming onto the show. It was great having you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is fun.
It was fun. It was cool.
I love coming on other people's shows and ranting about something that has nothing to do with the television show. Are you kidding me?
Actually, this kind of does have to do with your television show. That was one of the reasons why I was glad that you were here tonight.
A little bit.
It deals
the real world part of it.
Yeah, this is the real world where the fantasy stems from. But again, is it?
Right.
I guess that's pretty much everything. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover, because we did go off on some tangents. We did stretch it out a little bit further. But that's fine. That's fine.
And I'm pretty sure that we could keep going, I'm pretty sure. But
we could go for a 2-hour show relatively easy, real quick.
But I think that we should probably save your listeners.
And my throat, and Lobo, I think, is falling asleep over there.
No, dude, I'm already dead.
You didn't know that you hired a corpse as your co-host?
That's it. They call me Corpsey the Clown.
Even I knew that. Come on. Lobo's been dead for years.
That
is not this show, Lobo.
Let's bring it all to a close, I guess. This is Rojan. Peace out from the D.
This is Lobo. To a better tomorrow.
Etiquette.
You jerk.
This is Stars. Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace.
Well, at least you didn't degrade into making
so
stupid,
much.
weird noises.
I could probably, you know what? I probably could have done. And myrrh. Grocking. Why you doubt me? I just don't know.
It's like a broken diaper. No one wins.